Everybody, this is Tracy here for another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here to recap Queen Sugar Season 2, Episode 15, which was titled Copper Sun. On the last episode of Queen Sugar, everyone was getting ready for the harvest, and there was some serious, just a lot of different things were going on Queen Sugar. So, Darla, remember, she revealed to Ralph Angel that Blue may not be his son, and so that kind of like threw everything into turmoil. So when we pick up in this episode, Ralph Angel is waking up from a drunken stupor. Remember, Hollywood had to go get him from the bar somewhere and bring him home so he could sleep it off at Aunt Vi's. And so he tells Hollywood that, everything is gone, that him and Darla are over. And so Hollywood's like, well, you can talk to me about it, what's going on. But Ralph Angel says it's just too painful. And he only can tell it one time. So he sent Hollywood out to get everybody together so he could tell them what Darla has done to him. So Charley is the last one to arrive, and they're all, at Aunt Vi's house. And so Aunt Vi is thinking that something happened between Ralph Angel and Charley. But then he lets them know that it's, way deeper than anything that him and Charley could go through. So once everybody is gathered in the living room, Ralph Angel, is ready to tell them his truth. And of course, they can't let him get out what he needs to say because they're thinking that something's happened to Blue. And I think Nova jumped up and she goes over to Ralph Angel, and Aunt Vi standing there clutching her pearls. I was like, come on, y'all. So finally, Ralph Angel blurts out, he ain't mine. She told me Blue ain't my son. I'm thinking like, Ralph Angel, you just hear what you want to hear, because I really don't believe that that's what Darla said. I think Darla said to you, I don't think. No, she said he may not be your son. Now, how you just have made up in your mind that Blue ain't your son is beyond me. But of course, everyone is stunned by the news, and Ralph Angel, they run over to him and they're consoling him, and Aunt Vi, they're just hugging on him. And then I think Charley and Nova, they go over and they hug him, and child, they was being real dramatic on this episode. That's all I can say. So basically the entire episode, we got Ralph Angel walking around feeling sorry for himself and everybody babying him, and nobody's bothering to call Darla and ask Darla what really happened or what went down, or verify the information that Ralph Angel has provided to them. So then Aunt Vi is opening up the high yellow, to celebrate the sugarcane harvest. She's cooking breakfast for everybody. And I couldn't figure out if the breakfast was for all the farmers, or if the breakfast was for the farmers that were going to help Ralph Angel, or do all the farmers come together and just go from farm to farm helping each other. I really wasn't clear, because I'm thinking in reality, in the real world, that there probably would have been a whole bunch of Hispanic migrant workers that would have been working them sugarcane things that them black people wouldn't have been out there harvesting on their own. And I'm just thinking like all the acres and acres and acres of land, because I think Ralph Angel's farm is like 800 acres. And I'm thinking, so y'all gonna harvest all that cane and that soybean with just like the 10 of y'all? But anyway, we're gonna roll with the storyline. So Aunt Vi, she done cooked this breakfast, and she's telling Charley, because I think Charley and Nova came to help, and so she's telling them that no matter what, Blue's still their family. And I'm just like, okay, we're going to go along with the writing here, y'all. So when they finally open the doors, the farmers come in, and I think even Remy had showed up. And so Charley tells him that she wishes that Ernest, was around to see the farm actually produce a harvest. And she also lets him know that she's really nervous, about how things are going to go with the sugar mill and stuff. So Ralph Angel comes dragging in with Hollywood looking like somebody done died. Just like, what is wrong with him? So, he manages to give a supportive speech, to everybody, and thanking them for helping with the harvest and helping him harvest the sugar cane. And he's very thankful, for having the first harvest on the land in 3 years. And of course, he wishes that his dad was there to see it and that his mom was there, and how proud they would be of everybody for coming together and working together, to make this whole thing a reality. Then at the end of the speech, Hollywood pulls him to the side. Well, actually, I think Ralph Angel was getting ready to leave. He done came and did his duty. He ain't hungry. He can't eat because he's just sick and depressed and don't know what to do with himself. So him and Hollywood, they're like headed towards the door. Then Ralph Angel tells him, that he only wanted 2 things, and that was to be a good father and to be a good farmer. And now that Darla done took the father part away from him, he guess he would just be a good farmer. Just like, boy, please stop. So, later on, one of the farmers is telling Ralph Angel, about rumors that are surrounding the sugar mill, and that people are saying that the machinery isn't up to par and that Charley isn't going to be able to grind all this sugar and their crops are going to rot. And he was telling Ralph Angel, I think he said that if he harvests his crop and he doesn't get it ground in, a certain amount of time, then it's just going to rot. So Ralph Angel, he tells the farmer, ignore the rumors and continue to cut his cane, that everything is going to be all right. And, he believes in Charley, and he's not going to don't let those white boys get in your head and mess up a good thing. Charley and the Queen Sugar Mill, that's a good thing for us, and they're just trying to take that away from us. So there, Ralph Angel, he got all that industrial, like they had these huge trucks and everything. Like I'm thinking it had to cost them a fortune to rent all this equipment. And I'm hoping that maybe that equipment will actually, like they just go down the line and pull up the crops, because I'm thinking y'all got all that equipment. And nobody out in the sugar fields working none of those machines. And it was only like 10 guys, and they was all standing around talking and mumbling with each other. So I guess they were saying to themselves, okay, well, we're going to help Ralph Angel harvest his cane, but then what's going to happen when the side turn if Charley's mill isn't working? I don't know what was going on. I just know it was no production taking place. The guys were standing around talking, and the machines was not running. And I'm thinking, y'all probably renting them by the hour. So somebody needs to be on the machines and not there in them crops, getting that sugar cane up and taking it up. Thinking like if Ralph Angel was to go ahead and get his crop and take it on over there to Charley to go ahead and grind it up, then he would be living proof that the machines are working and that they have nothing to worry about. So why is y'all just standing out here? Okay, now we're going to move over to Charley. So Charley and Remy, they're at the mill, and she's just determined that, she's going to settle for Remy. She is going to make herself be happy with Remy. I don't know what kind of point she's trying to prove or what's going on, but they acting like they all lovey-dovey, and Remy, well, at least Remy is acting all lovey-dovey. Charley is just gritting her teeth and bearing what's going on. So Jacob Boudreaux stops by to make Charley an offer. And so this fool is talking about he's never met a woman like Charley before. He wants them to partner together and team up and take over everything and cut Sam Landry out the deal. And I'm like, what the hell is he smoking? Like, does he really think that Charley is going to fall for this and think that he is going to try and beat Landry? But they don't know, white people like that. They'll double cross each other. They don't have no loyalty, among thieves with the white folks. So they may be willing, he may be willing to team up with Charley to beat Landry out. But Charley was basically telling him that she had done stole most of his clients, and that was the only reason that he was there. So she tells Jacob, on no uncertain terms, when she ever do business with him. And when Jacob got ready to leave, because remember, Remy was there when he got there. And Remy, he was acting like the man of the business. He was like, I got your back. And Charley was like, no, we cool, you go ahead on. So when Jacob opens the door, Remy was all propped up at the door outside in the hallway, like he was ready to kick the door in case he heard some strange noises or something. So I was like, Lord have mercy. Somebody help Remy. So, Charley tells Remy, like she really don't know what Jacob was up to or what he wanted, but she was gonna figure it out eventually. So back over at the High Yellow, Charlie's sitting with another farmer that's been hearing rumors, that the mill is having problems, and so she's trying to convince him that they're not having problems and it's just the Landry's lying on them. But the guy was like, he can't be taking no chances, and he's not going to mill with her, that he's going back over there to the Landry's. So after leaving Aunt Vi's, Nova is at Charlie's place, and she tells Charley and Remy, because he was there too, about this article that's going to be written by her newspaper. And so she encourages Charley to sit down with the girl who's going to be writing the article. And actually, earlier in the show, Charley and Nova were talking to each other on the phone when Nova got the email from the girl saying that, these rumors were circulating and that they were going to do a story on it. And so she wanted Nova to help her. And she thought it would be best if Nova got her an interview with Charley than for her to have to go on, what the Landrys were saying or what the rumors were. So Nova was telling Charley about that. And so, this starts to break Charley down. And she's just feeling like, no matter how hard she tried, nothing's ever going to work out. But then Remy, is telling her that, she got to keep up the fight. She can't let them win. And so Charley was like, okay, I'll fight all right. So she gets up and heads out the door, I guess to go check on Boudreaux or either Landry. I don't know which one she was going after at that particular moment. So then Remy is left with the task of going out and talking to the farmers and trying to get them to stay on with Charley and to give her a chance. And so he stops by Ralph Angel's farm, and he wants to tell Ralph Angel what's going on. And Ralph Angel was like, the Landrys ain't never gonna stop. They want the farm back in their possession, and that this whole thing is personal, and he just don't see, how they're going to win. And so Remy assures him that Charley has a plan and that she's going to handle things. So then we go over to Miss Darla. I feel so sorry for Darla. I'm like, Darla was wrong for not telling Ralph Angel, but it's a whole bunch of y'all out there that's got babies that y'all told people was theirs that really ain't theirs and gonna take it to the grave. And that's what people on social media was like, Darla shouldn't tell anybody. But I'm sitting there like, no, the man deserved to know the truth, and if Darla feel like she had to tell that truth, then just let the chips fall where they may. So the day before the harvest, Prosper had stopped by the farm, to drop off some of the equipment. And so although he's happy, about the harvest on the farm, of course, Darla was not happy because her whole world is falling apart. And so when Prosper leaves, she walks in the house and Blue is in there and he's playing with his toys. And so that makes Darla smile and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, as attached as Blue is to Ralph Angel, he doesn't seem to be sensing that anything is wrong. Like he seems to be, like he hasn't asked where is his daddy or anything. But we're going to roll with the writing of this show. And if you guys, like I said, the past couple of episodes, the writing level kind of dropped. And on this episode, it was just so many questions that I had. Like, was we supposed to believe this? Was we supposed to believe that? But like I said, we're going to roll with it. So later on, Hollywood stops by. And so he sees Darla, she was piking up her car, getting ready. I think she said she was going to go stay with her sponsor. And so she asks him, if he'll pick Blue up from school. And of course, he says that he would. And so the two of them have like a brief conversation. And she tells, Hollywood that she never meant to harm Ralph Angel. But Hollywood is like, with all due respect, Darla, you're smarter than that. And he says that he didn't understand, why she would keep it to, keep the secret to herself. And so Darla says that, she didn't feel that it was right not telling Ralph Angel, and that she didn't want to go into their marriage, with this deception hanging over them. And she's like, I'm getting married to him and we just would feel bad, not telling him the truth. And so Hollywood was being a little judgmental. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, weren't you the one in the season 1 that we found out got an ex-wife that you've been sneaking off to take care of? And even though there was no romance going on between him and his ex-wife, he never told Aunt Vi about the ex-wife. And that, actually, I don't think, no, she wasn't even the ex-wife. She was his wife because he stayed married to her so she could have the insurance because she had the bipolar thing going on. So Hollywood, all people should understand what Darla is going through and not coming down on her and being judgmental. So you doing like a little double standard here. So later on, what did he say? Oh, so later on, you know, Darla then got dressed and went to work. Now, Darla know Ralph Angel done told them the truth, but I guess she said that if Charley gonna kick her out, then, you know, she gonna have to be a woman and do it. Then she's gonna honor her commitment, honor her job, and go in and do her work. But that lasted all of about 5 minutes, because when Charley walked in, she gave her the look of death and could not believe that Darla had came to work. And so Darla gets up, you know, to try and explain everything. But Charley called her, you know, a bold-faced lie, and told her she'd been a bold-faced lie for 7 years. And then, Darla, you fired, but I'm going to give you 2 weeks severance, you know, so you ain't completely broke. And I'm just thinking, like, poor Darla, like that job was all Darla had. And now she ain't even got that. And so I'm like, oh my God, please don't let Darla relapse. Because that's the last thing that she needs in her life right now. And then I got to thinking, like, Darla dad went and told her to go tell Ralph Angel. And we ain't seen Darla daddy or her mama no more. After Darla walked around that house to go tell Ralph Angel that Blue might not be his, we never saw them parents again. Like, okay. So, move on over to Nova. Okay, nothing. I ain't going there. So, we move over to Nova. So, Nova, like I said, I already told you. So, we move over to Nova. And so, I already told you the part about the lady calling and everything. So, later on, we get the Noble Nova at this point. So, she stops by Aunt Vi's house and she goes into one of her, you know, self-righteous mantras, because she asked Aunt Vi how she was doing, and Aunt Vi said she was blessed. So then Nova had to tell us about black folks always saying that they blessed when they don't want to face the truth and deal with reality. And then she won't tell Aunt Vi, you know, when you're blessed and when you ain't blessed, and when you need to just reveal your truth and all that. I'm just like, no, please shut up and go somewhere and sit down. So Aunt Vi, you know, she expresses disappointment with everything that's going on with Blue and with the farm and with Charley and everything. And, you know, she says that actually she was just like really blaming Darla, saying that, you know, Darla hadn't told her truth. Everything would be happy and we'd be living this blissful lie that we've been living for the past 7 years. And so she also expresses, you know, her desire to still be in Blue's life. And I mean, they was just going on and on, like Darla was about to take Blue and they weren't going to ever see Blue again. And nobody's talked to Darla to get Darla's side. And then when Darla tried to tell Charley, Charley didn't want to listen to hear what she had to say, because if she had listened to Darla, Darla would have told her, we need a DNA test, because I slept with some other people. So I don't know if Ralph Angel is really Blue's dad. But as soon as we get this DNA test, we can figure some things out. But nobody let Darla speak. She can't get her truth out because everybody just want to shut her down or don't want to talk to her at all. So, of course, Aunt Vi, you know, she said she just want to hug Blue. She just want to see her baby. So I guess Hollywood ain't been back home to tell her that he picking Blue up from school and that Blue going to be coming to stay with them for a little while. So anyway, Aunt Vi get to reminiscing about Ernest and about Trudy and, you know, spending time with Blue, and says that he made up for all the wrongs that Ralph Angel had did in the past. And, you know, while they're talking, Nova's editor calls, so she steps out of the room, and, you know, so she's telling Nova that the story is about to be published, and that she feels that the story should be published despite Nova's pushback. And so, is that how it went? She called Nova and told Nova that they were moving. Right, because Nova didn't want them to publish the story because she said it was a lie and that the Landrys was just trying to set them up. And so the girl was calling her to say that, you know, despite how you're feeling, we're still going to go ahead with the story. So you need to get on board with us. So when we see Nova again, you know, she's still at Aunt Vi's, and so she goes into Aunt Vi's room, and Aunt Vi was like laying in the bed napping. And so Nova then found out that Aunt Vi got lupus, but she tells Aunt Vi that she won't tell anyone until Aunt Vi gives her permission. And so then Nova empathizes with Aunt Vi. and tells her that, she's going to put together one of her herbal regimens. So, she's going to give her advice some weed to smoke or what. But she told Aunt Vi that she's going to be taking care of her. She'll need them prescription drugs, that what she growing in her backyard is all Aunt Vi needs to deal with this lupus. So then Aunt Vi pulled Nova into her arms, so they land in the bed together. And then Nova lays her head on Aunt Vi's chest and starts to cry. So I don't know if she crying because of Blue, crying because of Aunt Vi, crying because she done lost Dubois and White Boy. Like if she just feel like everything is just out of sorts, but she cried on Aunt Vi's shoulder. So that was a real tender, sweet moment, because we all need that maternal person that we can go to and just release everything to. So then Hollywood brings Blue over to Aunt Vi's, and he's greeted by her and Nova, and so everyone's trying their best to make Blue feel normal. But I'm thinking Blue already feels normal because he don't know what's going on. Like he don't know that Ralph Angel might not be his daddy, or that Ralph Angel and Darla done broke up, or so they smothering the child with hugs and love and telling him, he can have whatever he wants for dinner, and this is his special dinner. And so Blue just eating it all up, and I'm just like, maybe I walked out the room when some of this stuff that would connect the dots was taking place, but I just don't remember any of these things happening where Blue knew that there was a problem and he was upset and they needed to make him feel better. I don't know. So then we move over to Mr. Micah. And remember, Micah was all upset about the Civil War display that was going on at the school. So he done wrote a letter to the school board. So he done pasted copies of the letter on all the lockers, all the kids' lockers. So his one little white friend that came up to him was like, man, why we got to stick these letters on all these lockers? Couldn't we have just sent it in a mass email? And so he's like, I hope you know what you're doing, Micah. So as they're talking, kids are coming along and they balling up the letters and throwing them down on the ground at Micah and rolling their eyes at him like, why you over here starting mess, man? Take that Black Lives Matter back over there in the 9th Ward somewhere. So Micah's looking like, oh my God. So then these two girls walk up, and I think it was a black girl and a white girl. Either it was two black girls and one of them was just really light skinned. But they come by, they giving Micah the look. Like, we are really impressed with you, Micah. So, that made him feel a little better. But then Michael got called to the principal's office. So the principal, was basically telling Michael he was out of line. And that, even though history offends him, it's still a part of history. And you can't erase history. And then she lets Michael know that, she respects his right to protest, and that, he wanted to stand up for a good cause, and she quoted somebody to him. So Michael feeling all good about himself. She said, but the school board recognizes what you did as an act of vandalism, and for that you will be suspended for 30 days. Michael was like, a month? And she was like, yes. And I'm sitting there like that. Ain't nobody gonna call Charley? Like, shouldn't Charley have been there when you told her son that you was kicking him out of school for a whole month? Like, did nobody call Charley? But then again, Charley wasn't answering that phone because she was worried about that sugar mill. So maybe the school did try to call her. But I just thought it was odd that they called Micah in and gave him his punishment and his parents weren't there, because I thought that the school called the parent and said, we need you to come on out here, because once we suspend your child, you need to get him off our property. So okay, so the episode ends with Ralph Angel walking into Blue's room, because Blue is over at Aunt Vi's house, which is another confusing thing to me. So did Ralph Angel not know that Darla done moved in with the sponsor, and that she done gave Blue to Aunt Vi to watch while she get herself together? So that Blue is over at Aunt Vi's house. Ralph Angel back at the farm, and so he's in Blue room, and he's still being all emotional, and then the show kind of fades out with Ralph Angel laying down in Blue's bed and crying his little heart out, and I'm just like, this is the second to the last, so next week is the season finale. We're going to pull this together. We're going to get a DNA test. What we going to do? We just going to pretend like Blue ain't Ralph Angel and be mad at Darla? Like, is Darla going to go back to Washington? Is Darla going to end up back on drugs? just too much going on. And I just think that this whole reaction and Ralph Angel line and nobody wanting to hear Darla's side of the story is just all messed up. But that's what we got, guys. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Leave your comments below. Rate the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.